Okay, Chad. Hi, this is that box that I was drawing when we ended off, and I said I was going to finish it up. Several things you need to do to get open rafter, open eave kind of a look. And the first thing you do is, well, you don't have to have gable roofs, but first thing you do is set the framing up. That's under Edit, Default Settings, Framing, and Roof Framing. And so we want rafters to appear to be 4x10s, 48-inch on center, and I'm going to get back to whether we have fascia or not later in this tutorial, but that's what I've got set up there. Then we'll build framing. Now, some of these methods I go to dialog boxes are not significant, but the actions are. We'll build the framing. Yeah, I want it to show. Okay, and so there's the 48-inch on center 4x10s. Let's just take a look, a camera view at this. Now the framing's there, but it's not showing. You can see that there's a fascia reveal there. Let me go to a vector camera. Okay. So I'm going to open this dialog box here of this roof and go over to excuse me, the Options tab. And this is what I missed when we were together before. I'm going to leave the sheathing. Well, I'm going to turn off sheathing, soffits, and ceiling. We'll just see what it looks like. Might as well just do this. Okay. So now I can see the shingles right on top of the framing, which is probably not non-optimum. So let's open the dialog back up. But you should know what when it says sheathing, and that's precisely what it means. And I think the default sheathing is OSB. Let me texture the camera. Yeah, which this is not exactly ideal in an open rafter thing where you're just doing an appearance. You don't want the raw wood and raw OSB. So, and I don't know whether or not you want fascia, but again, that's a setting in the dialog. We'll go over here to framing and turn off the fascia. See, now it's just the framing there. There's the sheathing and the framing. So it depends on the look that you want. On some, you don't want the eave. On older things, maybe you don't even want this over here. So we go back to the, see, now I'm getting the dialogue, so I have to click on the sheathing to get the dialog box open. And we'll turn out, again, lookouts or no lookouts. Let's turn the lookouts off. You can see these little 2x4 things disappear. It just depends on what's there, what settings you use. And Chief has been kind enough to allow us just dialog boxes and input boxes to control all of this stuff. So, oh yeah, okay, I want to go back over to, all right. Yeah, gable fascia we probably want. And you can't, I tried this, you can't turn on one and not the other. Let's kind of go on and off together. So if there's no framing across the end, I would recommend you just select that piece and delete it to get that sort of a look. And it looks like this piece is not 4x10. So we'll just open that up and make it a 4x. I'm not quite sure what setting I missed, but now it's sticking out too far a little bit. This is how you control things to look like what you want them to look. Let's see, that's on the end of this house, and then that would be -X. I'm going to select this and use this tool here, Transform Replicate, to move this object to the left in plan view 2 inches. I need to make it -2, don't I? Okay, man, it's a little bit too much. Well, now I'll move it X 1.5 inches. See, a positive value. That's okay. This is how you get things done. You use the tools that are available. I'm going to move that back 1/2 inch, -0.5. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now the materials. I'm going to open this roof dialog here. I don't want it to look like OSB. So I'm going to go over the Materials tab. Yep. And sheathing, and change it from OSB to just white. If you're not worrying about the materials list, then you can just, it just has to look right. That'll look better painted than it will be raw OSB. Now the framing, I probably should have thought ahead on that, but I did this on purpose because sometimes you just don't think of all the steps in the right order. And go back to build framing. Build framing. There it is. We'll go over to the Materials tab for General. I'm going to change that to white. I'm not sure that this will be a retroactive setting. Well, we're fixing to find out. It is not retroactive. Okay. So some of these things, it's obvious that it would be a good idea if you were to plan ahead. If I use the material painter, I think, okay, just put the material on there. Let me check that. I'm going to check it with the adjust material definition, see if it just made it white. No, it actually took the fur framing and it painted white onto the fur framing, which may or may not be okay. Okay, looks like the settings finally caught up with what I wanted. And this is on this roof plane I turned off the fascia. And again, it depends on how they built the house, the look that you want. If I turn it back on the framing tab, there it is, then it'll turn back on. So that's how you get the look that you want. And let's look at this in an overview, because I haven't done the other. So you can see I deleted a piece off of here. This piece is still there. Deleted off this side. So partly you're working with automatic tools, and then with the manual tools. See, this one on the left, I haven't programmed. We'll take this, open the dialog for the roof, and we'll turn off. I've got lookouts on this side, so I'll just leave that on. But you can turn those off, Okay. I missed something. Options. Yeah. Sheathing we want to leave on. That's about it. I'm going to open this dialog box for this roof plane. See, if I'd set up the defaults for the white and white, then I wouldn't have to do this afterwards. Yeah, I need to go to Materials, Sheathing. We'll go hit the W key. No, I'm sorry, I need to hit the C key for color in this case. White. And, okay. So that's a way to do it. If you want fancy rafter tails, that's what the rafter tail tab is for. We'll go over here and make these look the same. That's over under framing. Turn off the fascia. And remember, I manually deleted this framing on the end. I don't think there's a setting for that, but it was, as you saw, it didn't take very long to fix that up. Looks like I got a hole here. I can see under the roof. Be play hob with squirrels and so forth. Let me turn on the vector view so I can see better. Yeah. And like the spacing here, you can adjust that manually. You can select and delete that if you want. Remember this one, I changed that manually from a 2x to a 4x. It looks like I'd have to do the same thing on this end. See that? There's a piece right there. Yeah, here's this thickness. And of course, it'll stick out some. I think in this camera vantage point, I can just move it back. If you want preciseness, then I would use the Transform Replicate tool. Probably don't need that one. Now, for this little space in here, if that's a problem, then tell you what I could have done. I just didn't think of it. Yeah, I need to do that one and that one. I'm not quite sure. I better do these one at a time. See, again, it just came in automatically at 2x. I can just use this point-to-point move, I think, to move it from the edge from there to line it up with that edge. See, all of this stuff's not hard to do, but if you don't do it all the time, I understand. This is what it is. Okay. I'm using the point-to-point move tool there. This one, make it 4x. And then point-to-point move it from there to line the cursor up there. And, okay, let's look at a framing overview. This will probably be easier to see when I'm, that's a framing that's there. Boy, you can't see anything with all that white. There. Now, that may not all be perfect and so forth, but I need something to cap the edges of the rafters where they get reduced. I'm just going to use the general framing tools. Build, framing, where is it? There it is. And I want in this case, a joist. So where's the joist tool? There's a joist. I'm going to draw a joist along here. Left click drag. Yeah, turn them on. And then we'll go back to the camera view. Let's see if framing joists on. Framing, ceiling. I don't see it yet. Framing ceiling, it's turned off, that's why I can't see it. I don't see it. I drew it there. Is that it? No, it's a wall. Let me hit the tab key. That should be it. There's no open icon. Framing, okay. Thickness, height, that's probably about right. I'm not sure about the bottom height. I'm just going to pull it out here where I can see it. It should be in the right place, but I'm not seeing it. So I'm going to separate it from the wall. Now, I must be looking at the wrong side. There it is. Okay. It's like a soffit or a polyline solid or anything else. You just draw the thing and then make sure it goes where you want. And just use the eyedropper to get this material over there from there. Oops, wrong material. I'm going to open the dialog box and straighten this out. That's one of the reasons I don't like the eyedropper tool, because it can quickly get you into some trouble. And it's oftentimes easier to just open the dialog box, set it to the material you want, and then drive on. I want this a little bit taller to fill in that gap. This is just for an appearance, so okay, you get the idea. So I think that's the end of the tutorial. Because that's pretty much, I think, the look that you want. And you can kind of see that it's all in settings, and then setting materials, a little bit of manual editing. And you've seen the house. I haven't seen the house, but this is the general steps on how to get this kind of an appearance. And I hope it helps you and others. Thank you.